Hey everyone, this is Raymond from Storetraffic.com. Today, I'm going to walk you through our new mobile phone application and explain to you what has changed, how, and what you can expect from the improvements. Some of you may have had the chance to play around, and I'm sure you've noticed that this is a significant improvement. Now, our dev team has been hard at work on this mobile application. It includes a huge visual overhaul, as I'm sure you may have noticed, and it is now WCAG compliant for those of you who may have difficulties with color blindness and or other disabilities. There's also some big improvements in terms of stability and functionality, so let's walk through those. So the first thing you'll notice when you log in is there's been a huge visual improvement. Some of you who have your phones preset to dark mode may notice that the app now has a dark mode, and for those of you who want to set it that way, well, we're going to get to that in just a moment because we're going to start with the settings, because there's now a lot of features to customize your experience so that you can experience your traffic data how you want to receive it. If we click the settings in the top right corner, the first option you're going to see is language. We support 3 languages right now in the Storetraffic application, and they can be changed right here in the settings menu in real time. You can then go to theme, where you can choose between dark mode, light mode, and auto. I prefer dark mode, so I'm going to leave it on auto and my phone will provide that information, but really nice quality of life improvement. Below theme, you have regional format. This is the birthchild of one of our developers, and I think it's a great idea. It allows you to choose what regional format you want for your date and numerical representations in terms of how they are formatted, whether it's periods or commas or spaces between numbers or to represent larger numbers, as well as date formatting, just to make it easier for you so you can experience dates and or numbers how you're used to. We also below that have time format. By default, it's on the 24-hour clock, but you can switch it to a 12-hour clock if that's what you prefer. Once again, it's all about making the data easier for you to read off just in a moment. You can also change your report interval. There's 2 settings. You can have it every hour report interval or every half hour, and that will change how the data is being represented in the graphs. One of the really big improvements, trust me, this is massive, is if ever you're chatting with our support team on the phone, you can actually play around with the support chat bubble like it's on an air hockey table. Just a little bit of fun you can have if ever you're troubleshooting a device. You can leave us feedback on the application. This could be anything from a feature suggestion to I found an issue or a bug in the application. We really appreciate any and all feedback you have. Our goal here is to make this application the best application possible, so it's frictionless, without issue, and has everything you need all in one place. Check for updates button, very self-explanatory, and the rest are pretty straightforward. Let's go to our locations page. As some of you may know, locations page is where everything tends to happen. If you have more than one location, you're going to be able to see all your different locations here. We're going to go ahead and click on our first location here, and you're going to see quite a few things have changed. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and click on my Boston location. Now, it's going to take us right away to the daily report. And the first thing you'll notice is there's now 2 lines on our graph. We have the same day previous next week line, which basically shows me, hey, today is Monday. What was my traffic last Monday? So I can have a direct comparison week over week on one screen. And then obviously you have your detailed traffic count down below. And if you want even more detail, you can click on your details page. It's going to give you your in and out. If you have a 3D, in this case, this is a 3D scope, you'll also have pass by if that is enabled. If it's not enabled, then you'll just have your ins and outs, and that's perfectly fine. You can also go back in time, and this application does have an offline mode. In this case, offline mode means that you can consult traffic data that you've consulted in the past, as it's being stored locally in the application, and you're not dependent on an internet connection for that. However, obviously, if you want to fetch up-to-date data that you have yet to consult, then you do need an internet connection for that. Moving on to the weekly report, this one as well has had an additional bar to the graph, we'll say, added. When you're on the weekly page, you can see last week's traffic and this week's traffic. Once again, it's all about being able to, at a glance, see how am I doing compared to last week, make things a lot easier to make you interpret the data. And as you had previously in the previous version, you've got more detailed traffic. And if you scroll down below, you'll have the exact traffic numbers for every day of the week for that entire week. As well, you can still go up to 4 weeks in the past to view your traffic data. And if you want to select even further, if you happen to have a TMAS subscription, you can go infinitely into the past. Then we've got the retail equation page. Really powerful tool for projecting to the future. If you want to know more about the retail equation itself, check out the video in the description down below on the retail equation by our CEO Patrick, explaining how it is, how it works, and how you can use it to increase revenue in your store. The retail equation allows you to do projections for both on a daily and weekly basis, so very powerful tool. If we go back to our location area, you click all the way on the right on that little crayon button, you'll see that you've got your reports, which is what we were just on. We've got your device list, which straightforward allows you to access your devices directly. When you click on the device, you will see obviously the daily report, the weekly report, and the retail equation for that specific device. You can click directly on the device to see its counts directly, which if ever for some reason you have multiple devices and you want to see how many people are walking through a specific door, you totally can. This is what that allows you to do. You can also click on the little edit button and then you can check on the status of your device, see how it's doing. If it's a Pro, you can do a Wi-Fi reconfiguration from here. You can delete it, although we've made it so you can't delete it with just one button click because that wouldn't just work. And you can also add an additional device or show disabled devices on the location. If you click on that button again, the one below that is edit location. So obviously your location has information. You go here if you want to edit your address, if there's a typo, or you want to change anything about your location, it can be done there. Business hours has seen a really powerful feature added to it. Really important. We always mention this because it is so important. For people who have the Pearl People Counter, that device is designed to go into sleep mode outside of business hours to preserve as much battery as possible. So if you don't set your business hours, it's always on. You're one counting traffic, maybe janitors walking in or employees after hours, and you're also using up that battery. So to get yourself additional battery life and get rid of those polluted counts, make sure that your business hours are accurate. If I go here on my location and I say, you know what, I'm closed on Sundays, you can do that. You can be open 24 hours a day. That's what the 24 hours button is for. If I click on it again, I can select and edit my hours manually. So we also have the ability now to search hours from Google. So if you go on that button and you click it, it's going to use the address that you have on file. In this case, there's no business hours. It's not an actual location. It's just our demo location, but it allows you to automatically populate your business hours as listed on Google into the application so you don't have to manually adjust every day and you make sure your data is accurate. I'm going to leave without saving. Obviously, there's the delete location button. Be careful with that one. As with all the delete buttons, I highly recommend. And there you go. That's the new SMS Storetraffic mobile application. We would really love your feedback, any suggestions for future features, improvements, and if you do find any bugs, please let us know. Our goal is to make sure this is a seamless experience for all of you. Last point before we head out. If you find that the mobile application doesn't quite scratch that itch that you want more from your traffic data, well, check out TMAS, our cloud analytics platform. It allows you to have unlimited users, unlimited traffic history, so you can go back in the past and consult how was your traffic last year, or the year before that, or 5 years ago. Obviously, granted, you must have been counting 5 years ago. It also has some pre-built reporting tools, as well as POS integration, which I mentioned at the retail equation. So you can import your sales data directly, and you get a conversion rate right out of the box. And you can also get your retail equation, a very, very powerful tool. As always, it's our pleasure to have you here at SMS, and happy counting.